Welcome to AETCM, the emergency medicine channel. So, hope you all are aware about our Abg interpretation. So, past two videos we told regarding the basic Abg interpretation. Mainly we focused on the in first part regarding the normal values. In second part we discussed metabolic disorder. So, in this third part we are going to continue with an respiratory disorders, means respiratory acidosis and then alkalosis. So, we have a two or in metabolic disorders we told 4 steps. Like first step what we have to do. So, first here we'll see the respiratory acidosis. Okay, first we'll see the respiratory acidosis and then we'll move on to the alkalosis. What is the step 1? You have to see the pH and then PCO2 level, right? In step 2 we will check the compensatory mechanism. So in respiratory acidosis or respiratory condition, which compensation we will expect? We will expect the compensation in renal system, or we will see the changes or values in your HCO3, that is your bicarbonate, right? So your third and fourth step here it won't come. In third step what we will do in a metabolic condition, we used to check the, if it is a metabolic acidosis, we used to check the anion gap. So to rule out the your etiology, okay. Then step 4 we used to check the if any mixed acidosis like metabolic acidosis, metabolic alkalosis is there or not, that we used to check in your metabolic disorder alone. Here that mixed respiratory acidosis alkalosis won't occur. So first presentation itself we told either PCO2 buildup will be there, means respiratory acidosis will be there, or PCO2 washout will be there, or in other term respiratory alkalosis will be there. So these both conditions won't get grouped always. Okay, so this is one thing you have to remember. That's why we are skipping that step, or that step won't come here. So that mixed respiratory alkalosis or acidosis won't occur here. So we are stopping our things into 2 steps. If the person have a metabolic acidosis as a second condition, so primary is your respiratory. In a second condition, as a part it is metabolic acidosis coming, means then you have to go for the anion gap calculation also. Okay. Now we'll take the first. This is what we handle in our ED. There is a 54 years old male presented to our ED with the complaints of dyspnea. He have a background history of COPD, and then he told past 3 days there is a worsening of the dyspnea. Okay, this is what the ABG we got. So pH of 7.20. So step 1 you have to see the pH and then PCO2 level. So pH level here you can see the 7.20. What it is indicating? So it is towards the acidemia, or the person in acidemia. Okay, 7.35 normal. So it is getting low. And then what about your PCO2? That is value of 35 to 45 millimeters in mercury. But here the value is 55. This is the ABG, not PBG. Okay. So PCO2 is 55 millimeters in mercury. That is indicating higher side. Okay, so by this you can understand the person in a respiratory pathology. Mean the same time, because of the PCO2 buildup, that is causing the respiratory acidosis. Am I clear to you? Now you can check the other parameters also. HCO3 you can see that is 34. Okay, normally it will be 22 to 28. So it is higher side anyway, but it is the person in not in a metabolic acidosis condition. So we cleared our mind. Clearly it is stating the person in a respiratory acidosis. Okay, the primary condition is respiratory acidosis. It is a primary condition. Okay, that is first step. Second step, what we are going to do? Compensation. So compensation wise, here we will expect compensation in 2 ways. The body will try to compensate in a 2 ways. First thing, acute and then chronic. So acute in the sense, so immediately there will be some actions will happen in your whole body buffer system. It will try to compensate the condition. Chronic in the sense, if the condition is, if the PCO2 is prolonged, it is developing for a longer time, or if the person have history of any obstructive airway disease, COPD, asthma, for a longer time the PCO2 buildup is there, means there some actions will be there, compensatory mechanism will happen, that will comes under the chronic. Okay, in acute, who will take a role play, means your whole body buffer system like hemoglobin, everything they will take a role, and then they will try to compensate the condition. So acute, that is whole body buffer system, mainly your hemoglobin will take a role. Okay, so when it will take it will start this action, means so within a 5 to 10 minutes of PCO2 rise up. So if the PCO2 is getting rise, means so within 5 to 10 minutes he will this whole body buffer system will activate, and then it will take a role. Okay, within 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, then if the condition like a chronic condition, if the PCO2 persistently elevating, means then the chronic part will take role. Here the role player is your kidney. Okay, kidney will take a role. Okay, here rolled by your kidney. So what the kidney will do, so it will try to eliminate the easily titratable acids. So it will eliminate the titratable acids, mean the same time it will retain the bicarbonate. So here in that condition we need a more amount of bicarbonate to to subside or to equalize your acidosis. That's why either he will remove the easily titratable acids and then it will retain the bicarbonate level. Okay, am I clear to you? So this is the way the chronic system will work out. But what's the thing in chronic system means, it will take 3 to 5 days to compensate the whole thing. So this whole compensation process, it will take approximately 3 to 5 days. That is the one factor it will happen in your chronic. Okay, it will take a 3 to 5 days to complete the whole compensation process. Now this is the theory related. How we have to apply in your ABG paper or clinical ways means, in an acute condition. So if the person present within some acute onset of altered mental status, or if you are any respiratory related things, you are acute asthmatic attack, those are the condition. So that will comes under the acute. Okay, so in acute condition the compensation will be 10:1 in the sense. So if 10 increase in PCO2, that will rise 1 milliequivalent of bicarbonate. Okay, if 10 increase in PCO2 means there will be 1 increase in bicarbonate. What will happen in your chronic condition? It is 10:3 to 5. Some of the studies they are giving a 3 rise in bicarbonate, some of the studies they given 5, some of the studies they given 4. So that is why you can take 3 to 5 or the mean value of 4 you can take. Okay, so every 10 increase in PCO2, that will rise 4 milliequivalent of bicarbonate. So this is what will happen in your acute and then chronic. There is one more calculation is there. I think this is a more easier one. Calculation how it will be means, the predicted or expected HCO3 level approximately PCO2 minus 40 divided by 10 plus 24. So this is what the calculation, PCO2 minus 40 divided by 10 plus 24. For chronic it will come like same thing, PCO2 minus 40 divided by 10 plus 24. Chronic, what we told, it is 4 times higher than the acute. Okay, it's 4 times higher than the acute. So or 3 to 5 times, so that's why we take a mean value of 4, right? So it is 4 times higher than the acute. That's why we are adding 4 into PCO2 minus 40 divided by 10 plus 24. What's the thing is, both calculation will give us same result only. So why we want to confuse again and again? So you can remember, in acute 10:1, in chronic it is 10:4. Now we'll move on to our ABG. Here the person have a COPD. So it will comes under the case of chronic, right? So there the compensation will be 10:4. So here you can see the PCO2 level is 55. We are taking base reference range for PCO2, that is 40. For your HCO3, 24. Okay, so 40 to 55 difference will be 15. Okay, there is a 15 difference in PCO2. So what about your HCO3? Here it is 34, it is there, but how much approximately, or how the based on your calculation, how much HCO3 you are expected means. So if the 15 difference means, so for 10 it is 4, for 0.5 you can add like 2, so 6 should be there. So the difference from 24 plus 6, so you are expecting the HCO3 level at 30, expected HCO3 level is 30, but in this ABG you can see their value is 34. Okay, the base is excessing beyond the normal or beyond the expected HCO3. So what is indicating? The body is overcompensated the condition, or the base level is excessing. If the base level is excessing means, what's the condition it will leads to? It leads to the metabolic alkalosis also. The person have a primary condition of respiratory acidosis along with metabolic alkalosis also there. Am I clear to you? So you are going to calculate the whether, first you have to fix your mind whether it is acute condition or chronic condition. Here we have the person have a COPD history, so it is a chronic condition. So chronic in the sense, every 10 changes in or every 10 rises in PCO2, it will rise the only 4 approximately it will rise the 4 milliequivalents of bicarbonate. Here the person have a difference of 15. Okay, from 40 55 it is a person's PCO2. There is a 15 difference in your PCO2. So for that we are expecting changes like 6. So 6 should be there, 6 rise in bicarbonate should be there. So 24 plus 6, so 24 why we taken, it is a mean base value for your HCO3. From there 6 rise should be there. So the expected HCO3 level is 30, but here we are seeing the level of 34. So the excess, the HCO3 is excessing from the expected HCO3 level. So it is ultimately it is leading to the other secondary condition, that is your metabolic alkalosis. Then again you can see the base excess. So to verify the metabolic alkalosis, you can see the base excess, that is +6. So the normal value -2 to +2. Again, that's why we concluded the person have a respiratory acidosis along with metabolic alkalosis as a secondary condition. So here one more probability is there, that is the person may present with a metabolic acidosis also. So sometimes metabolic acidosis, how you will identify? If the person have a lactate level of more than 2 or more, lactic acidosis, hyperlactemia. If it is more than 2, hyperlactemia. If it is more than 4 of lactate level, that is indicating lactic acidosis. Or else you can see the glucose level, because of the hyperglycemia it can lead to. And then creatinine level you can check. So here I don't have a creatinine, but creatinine level you can check. So these are the some features. If it is including anion gap also you can check. So here everything in a normal limit. So 1.5 it is normal, anion gap 11 it is normal, glucose is 130. So it is the person doesn't have any metabolic related disorder. Here only he have a metabolic alkalosis. So if the changes in glucose or lactate or creatinine means, so it will accompany with metabolic acidosis also. So this is what your first condition. Now we'll move on to the respiratory alkalosis. So the same step only. Step 1 you are going to see the pH and then PCO2. Step 2 you are going to check the compensation. So in respiratory alkalosis, compensation will be in acute. Here also the acute base will be there and then chronic phase will be there. So in acute, how it will occur means there is 10:2. Here in chronic 10:4. Okay, so what is indicating? Every 10 decrease in PCO2 will decrease or will reduce 2 milliequivalent of HCO3. Same like in chronic, every 10 decrease in PCO2 will decrease 4 milliequivalent of bicarbonate. Okay, so again you can use the same calculation which we used the last one calculation we told, right? Expected HCO3 is equal to 2 into 40 minus PCO2 divided by 10 plus 24, and then here also you can 4 into 40 minus PCO2 divided by 10 plus 24. Okay, so better you can go with an above calculation just to get a knowledge, or just to remember I am telling this calculation. So every 10 decrease in acute 10:2, in chronic 10:4. Now we'll go to our ABG. So this is what our 32 years old female, she presented to our ED with the complaints of fever, 5 days of fever history. Okay, this is what the ABG. Hope you can able to see this one. Okay. So the pH you can see it is about 7.500. So it is indicating high level of pH. So it is exceeding. It is indicating the alkalemia. Now we have to rule out whether it is a metabolic or respiratory. So PCO2 you can see it is 27. So PCO2 is declining. So both are opposite direction. So it is giving a clue something is related with a respiratory pathology or respiratory disorder. Okay. Now you can check the, so by this you can conclude respiratory disorder. Which disorder you are suspecting? Respiratory alkalosis. In one more way you can check the HCO3 level also. It is 20.9. So normally it will be 22 to 28 is a normal range. So whenever the base is excessing, we will call as alkalosis. But here the base is somewhat low level. So we are not we get a clearance where the person doesn't have any metabolic alkalosis related condition. So the primary condition is your respiratory alkalosis. Okay, that is your primary condition. Now we are going to check the compensatory mechanism, that is our step 2. So compensatory mechanism, what we told, this is an acute case. Okay, so in acute case, the range will be 10:2. Okay, so the PCO2 here you can check, that is 27. So the normal base level we told, that is 40. So from 40 it is came into 27, means there is a 13 difference. Okay, so 13 decline in PCO2. So how much HCO3 you are expecting here? So 1.3 means, so somewhat you will expect 2.6. Okay, so 1.3 decline means, so you will expect the 2.6 decline in your HCO3 level. Here you can see the HCO3 level 2.6 in the sense from 24 minus 2.6, it is something, it will come 21.4. That is our expected HCO3 level in this case. So here you can see 21.4. Here the in our ABG we have a value of 20.9. So it is indicating somewhat partially compensated the metabolic alkalosis, respiratory alkalosis. partially compensated. Okay, this is what are things like in your respiratory alkalosis. But in this case, if the base is again excessing your predicted HCO3 level, means here also the metabolic alkalosis condition may present. And then one more entity, that is metabolic acidosis. Metabolic acidosis also, here also you can expect in the case of if you are getting more than create value of more than 1, or the create is excessing, or if the glucose level is excessing, or the lactate level is excessing. But all the range here you can see glucose in normal range, lactate also normal range, create also normal range. So here it is very simple condition. The primary condition of respiratory alkalosis alone is there. So this is what the thing regarding your respiratory alkalosis. So step 1, remember the pH and then PCO2 level. Step 2, remember your compensation. Here the compensation is 10:2 because of the acute condition. So the difference is 1.3, and then we are expecting the HCO3 level of 2.6 decline. So 2.6 in the sense 21.4 is our expected HCO3 level. So here the person have a 20.9. So it is partially compensated respiratory alkalosis. We ruled out the metabolic acidosis also, but here the person everything parameters in a normal range. So the person doesn't have any metabolic acidosis. So this is what your whole idea regarding your respiratory acidosis and then alkalosis. So do your best. Shalom.